feel sick. I should be able to laugh better. I should be able to make them laugh better. Yep, I look so lame. You idiot. I have to throw all my strength into my work and produce some kind of results, or...
Alright, calm down. I said calm down. I know some of you guys are probably wondering, who the fuck is talking right now? First off, you already know who it is. Big N from the toughest hood in America, bro. Don't play with me. But enough of that. Some of y'all are probably wondering why you're hearing my voice right now. If y'all checked out our part 1 of our ReZero video, which you should 100% do before watching this one, you'll remember at the end of the video that part 2 wasn't gonna be a collab. Well, it is. We lied. So without further ado, let's start this shit. Alright, check it. If y'all remember, they just completed their first big battle, which was with the Great Whale. So now they're leaving and heading home. Of course, that boy Subaru was trying to get busy with Emilia, but then this girl Petra ends up ruining the moment for bro. Oh nah, she's talking about some, I ain't gonna lose to you. Like damn, this is competition to get bro now? Damn. And Emilia, how are you feeding into this? Come on, she's a kid. Subaru ends up reminiscing about the battle, and man, I won't even lie with you, this was a crazy fight and everyone was definitely pushing their weight. He ends up trying to explain to Emilia that Rem is low-key his side chick, but still, she's the main piece if you know what I'm trying to say. But then out of nowhere, Emilia says, who is Rem?
What?
Dog, it's only been 3 minutes and we are already getting fucked up in the head, bro. This is what ReZero does to people. We tie back to Rem and Crochet and they're having their own wholesome moment, but sadly it gets rudely interrupted by a loud crashing sound. Oh yeah, dog, did he just kill all of them like that? One guy, huh?
What's good, ladies? You ain't know who it is, bro. A real dude just entered the fucking frame, bro. Come on now.
How dare you do that to those soldiers? Who the fuck do you think you are?
A real nigga.
Man, you can't even say the N-word, bro. Get the fuck out of my face, bro. You know what? Take this.
Man, fuck you.
This guy's out here moving like Satoru Gojo, bro. You can't touch him. And he has white hair? Bro, come on. Bro just started yapping, talking about some stupid shit about his rights. Bro, what are you on about? Same moment he finishes that sentence though, he ends up sniping Crochet's arm clean off. And then we see this ugly ass dude too yapping about being a munch? Bro, what are you doing? And we finally found out that both of these two are a part of the witch's cult, and they're only here because they found out that someone was able to defeat the Great Whale, and their names is Regulus and Lai. These two killed all those people and still had the audacity to continue yapping about straight nonsense. But of course, Rem wasted no time putting both to ass. But sadly, that wasn't enough. Fast forward and Subaru's party finally makes it there, but the damage is already done. As soon as he gets there, he charges trying to find where Rem is, but Shotty's already knocked out. And bro, whoa, Subaru, what is he about to do? Nah, this guy really just killed himself thinking it was gonna help, but sadly the damage is already done. They make their way back to the mansion and obviously Subaru feels sorry for himself once again, but then Puck pulls up. He explains how Gluttony's powers work, which is the one who ate all of Rem's memories, in which he does it by eating someone's name and makes everyone forget about them or make that person forget about everything they've ever known. Crochet's actually the one who forgets about everything and her whole personality did a whole 360. She can't even remember Subaru's name. Damn. It also does look like another side effect of this ability is the fact that Rem is completely knocked out, and apparently she's under the spell called the Sleeping Beauty. They end up having a meeting to discuss about what they're gonna do about this, just for Felix to continue to talk shit about Emilia when she's literally sitting right there. But surprisingly, even Crochet tells him to shut the fuck up real quick. Bro look perplexed. Shut up! Felix then goes on about how they want to end their alliance due to them not wanting to get involved with Emilia's party since she's the enemy's target, but the old man shuts that idea up real quick. But despite all that, Crochet ends up wanting to also stay with the alliance in order to fight the witch's cult members and so she can get her memories back. Subaru goes right back to Rem's room trying to find a way to help her, but then Emilia comes in the room to tell him to rest since bro has been up since morning just staring at her. And once again, he's crying again. Shit, don't make me sad now, bro. I don't want to cry. They end up departing in order to make it to Roswell's mansion, and Otto is actually the one driving the carriage. And man, every time I hear this guy's voice, I just picture this guy Tanjiro. You can't blame me, bro. Emilia and Subaru end up having their own little heartfelt moment, and finally we make it to the village, just for the whole shit to be empty. And Ram hasn't came back from the sanctuary, and these two don't even know where it is, bro. Can we lock in? As they knock the door on the mansion, Shadi opens the door saying she's been expecting their arrival. Sharp ass teeth, by the way. I just had to mention. Her name is Frederica, and she's only here because Ram wasn't able to handle the mansion on her own, only because everyone forgot that Ram existed. Subaru ends up going to see Beatrice, and these two once again just give those sibling vibes, just vibing and laughing and shit. But it's kind of one-sided because it doesn't even look like Beatrice is trying to indulge in this conversation, but she was technically the one that invited them in. It also seems like Beatrice and Roswaal aren't really in talking terms right now, and Subaru also shows her the gospel that he got from Betelgeuse. He even tells him about the witches factor, but at this point Subaru doesn't know what that shit is, on top of Beatrice not wanting to give him any more information. Goddamn. Federica then gives them a layout on how they should be able to get to the sanctuary as well. Also, with Petra now going to be working in the mansion as well as living there with them too. Later on, while Subaru's trying to get busy with Emilia, her chain just starts lighting up out of nowhere. And no, it's not because the crystal is shining, but it's actually something completely different. Shadi's already knocked out and Subaru gets teleported somewhere else. Subaru ends up walking into this random building, then hears this random lady's voice, just to get teleported into this Windows XP wallpaper. Oh shit, who's fine shit over there, bro? What you doing? Shadi's actually the Witch of Greed, Echidna, and Subaru ain't phased one bit, and as soon as he gets there, already starts questioning her. Delicious! Damn, he really gulped all that shit. He don't even know what it is. Bro didn't even know he chugged down Shadi's body fluid. Oh hell nah, bro. What? Well shit.
Can I be next?
She ends up explaining that Subaru was invited into her tea party just to be able to talk to her, as she goes on to explain that she can answer any question that Subaru asks her. And damn, I'm not gonna lie, she creepy as hell too. But obviously, none of the names really faze Subaru until she mentions the Witch of Envy, and shit, I don't even blame him. Damn, you good, bro? What was in that tea, bro? Echidna ends up explaining to Subaru about how he got here and the witches factor that he got from Betelgeuse. But obviously, he only cares about the fact that he actually made it into the sanctuary. But he did make a promise with Echidna that he won't tell anyone about this, and she also gives Subaru the right to face the trial of the sanctuary. Dog, what is she doing? You good? Freaky ass lady, bruh. The moment Subaru gets there, this tiger looking ass dude yeets his ass through the sanctuary, but the Dragon Brody ends up helping him. Obviously, because Dragon Brody ain't no bitch, he charges straight at bro, but that really didn't do a damn thing.
Well, you're a real good-looking girl now, ain't you, precious? Come on, I'm not gonna hurt ya. Just take
Get over here! Damn, bro, what did she do to deserve that? Just before bro was about to beat Subaru's ass, he ends up saying Frederica's name, which completely stops him. Otto out here complaining about getting his ass beat, bro. Like, shit, I don't even blame him. Do you not look at this guy, bro? He'll beat the brakes off of someone. This tiger dude already acting like he owns his shit too. Damn. As soon as Emilia gets up, she ends up putting herself right in front of Subaru to protect him. Aww. Apparently, bro's name is Garfiel, and he ends up explaining to them why the barrier reacted to Emilia like that, and why it didn't really affect Subaru once he got closer to the barrier. And apparently, the sanctuary is actually meant for people who are half-blood like Emilia and Garfield. We finally see Ram and Roswaal are also here too. Roswaal is completely covered in bandages, and it's looking like he completely got his ass whooped when he got here. He ends up explaining exactly what this place truly is, and we already know. The graveyard for the Witch of Greed, Echidna. You can already tell Roswaal was kinda on some weird shit early on, because when Emilia considered her the Witch of Greed, bro kinda got pissed for a second. Like, bro, she still don't want you, relax. We also find out in order for anyone to leave the sanctuary, you actually have to pass the trial, and if you don't, you're stuck. But this is only the case for mixed blood people. More importantly, the only way to break the barrier is for Emilia to actually pass the trial, or else everyone is trapped here. She ends up talking to the townspeople, and her and Subaru end up explaining the situation, in which the townspeople all understand and put their faith on her too. Emilia ends up beginning her trial, but something goes wrong. Subaru charges after her just to see her knocked out, and then shortly after, he gets knocked down too, as he wakes up in his bed. This guy really just got re-isekai'd, just like Shadow. What is going on? And now they're arguing about who's gonna eat all these peas? Man, back that shit away, bro. You know I'm not gonna eat that shit. You know what I'm saying? We eat big boy meat here. You know what I'm saying? Only big boy meat. Wait, pause. It seems like he forgot everything that led him up to this point, but weirdly enough, he continues to act the same way he did before he got isekai'd. Him and his dad end up going for a walk, but obviously Subaru was not having this shit at all, and bro started geeking out. Eventually though, Subaru ends up remembering everything, but it definitely took him a minute, and then he finally locks in. He ends up having a heartful moment with his dad as he explains more about how he felt during his childhood, and the feeling of him being the shadow of his own father. And this main piece actually contributes a lot to Subaru's depression. And shit, not a soul fucked with Subaru. Damn, like bro, why would you do that? It's sad shit, but his father eventually ends up understanding exactly what Subaru was talking about and tells him that all he has to do to make up for it is to take care of them. Bro started bawling out, crying, man. Damn, twin. Subaru ends up getting ready for school and starts walking with his mom as well, as she comforts him while they talk, explaining to him that he's fine just the way he is. And just before they separated, he starts crying again, bro. Like, damn, chill, twin. This anime almost got me crying. Even the night that he got isekai'd, his mom actually said the same words to him: take care of yourself. And sadly, bro didn't even say shit. Damn. Anime really sending real life lessons to you guys, bro. You gotta pay attention. Moving on, as soon as Subaru enters the classroom door, we see Echidna's freaky ass, you know what I'm saying? She look good in the uniform. I won't cap. And it's kind of clear up to this point that she is just playing tricks with his brain, trying to see if he'll crash out or learn something from this. But Subaru is not getting phased from her at all. And finally, he completes the first trial, and despite everything, he actually thanks Echidna. As soon as he gets back though, Emilia instantly starts tweaking out. What the hell did she see to make that ugly ass face? Damn. We also get to learn more about the sanctuary, since Otto gives the idea that maybe they can just knock out people who are mixed blood, while the full blood people actually walk them past the barrier. But this idea is debunked by the elf girl, who explains that this isn't possible since their souls will still be taken when trying to leave the barrier. Nasty ass Eva. Ram and Subaru end up having a talk about the blue crystal that Frederica gave Emilia, and Ram questions why she gave her something like that to Emilia, which she starts thinking that maybe her intention was to harm Emilia. Up to this point, I don't disagree, since that same crystal's the reason why Subaru was able to see Echidna. And sadly though, Emilia still hasn't passed the first trial. Roswaal ends up having a conversation with Subaru, which he tells him some bullshit. Subaru obviously crashing out, since this guy Roswaal has been nothing but a useless ass person up to this point. He knew about the witch's cult, and yet he didn't do a damn thing about it, and he didn't even tell Emilia about it too. He didn't even bother to help. Honestly, I don't even blame Subaru for almost punching bro. Like damn, he's being a dick. This guy Roswaal quite literally admits to bringing the witch's cult members to the mansion, which completely disgusts Subaru and even Ram for a second too. He ends up saying he only did it just so Emilia will be viewed well from the townspeople and gain some positive rep from her party. But the main piece of his plan was actually Subaru defeating those same members. And honestly, this guy Roswaal is low-key rage baiting, bro. Like damn, he's just getting more angry by the second, and I don't blame him. That same night, he ends up having a heartwarming conversation with Emilia too, which eventually calms him down a little bit that maybe there's some hope in the future. The next morning approaches, and Subaru party ends up leaving to go back to the mansion, as Garfield asks him the question if he went through the graveyard's trial, in which he admits that he did. He ends up telling Subaru that maybe he should be the one who completes the sanctuary, since it looks like it won't be easy for Emilia to complete her trials. But still, Subaru puts his trust that she still can. Night approaches and Subaru makes it to the mansion, but no one answers. He walks in and the mansion is completely empty, and as he continues walking around, he realizes that something is off. He charges after Rem's room to see if she's still there, and out of nowhere he gets cut. And wait, who that? I know that and who I think it is. Is that Elsa? Subaru ends up dying, and his respawn point was right when he wakes up from his first trial, and once again he sees Emilia crashing out too. He ends up telling people this time that he did his trial and he actually passed the first stage. Keep this in mind. Garfield ends up crashing out saying that he only wants Emilia to do it, which makes no sense because before this loop, he wanted Subaru to do it so she doesn't have to suffer, which just gets me more confused. Bro even got more pissed that Subaru even gave that idea too, with Emilia also saying that it seems like you don't have any trust in me. Like damn, now everyone's on his case? What do you want him to do? But later on, they explain why they only want Emilia to do it, and once again, it's because Roswell's the one that made the stupid ass rules that only she can do it. And now Subaru needs to find a way to make it to the mansion just before Elsa does so he can actually defeat her. On top of the fact that he is still confused on whether or not Frederica is actually a good person or a bad person in all this mess. Too much is going on. Ram and Subaru end up making their way back to the mansion with Garfield tossing him the blue crystal, and they finally make it to the mansion. The first thing Subaru does is ask Petra whether or not Frederica has been acting up or not, on top of telling her about who Rem actually is and showing her to her room. Subaru and Frederica end up having a talk, and we find out that Frederica and Garfield are actually siblings, and that she has no idea what Subaru is talking about when it comes to a teleporting trap crystal. Rem ends up coming in and asking her more questions, but she doesn't have the answer for any of them due to the oath that she's under. But I think it's pretty obvious who's behind all this mess. Just before shit was looking a little bright, Elsa ends up coming to the mansion earlier, and now she has Petra as a hostage. And oh nah, you already know she's doing too much. In that same moment, Rum releases her wind magic spell just for Frederica to charge in and clash with her. Then Rum comes in again and cuts her arm, but it didn't seem to do any type of damage. Subaru ends up using his shadow magic just to get hit with needles in Frederica too. Then Ram ends up telling Subaru there's no point of them going back inside the mansion to save Rem or Beatrice, but it's hard to decide what they should do in this situation. But it's kind of clear that Shotty's a ride or die for Roswaal, despite the fact that this guy has been nothing but a nuisance and a bitch. But obviously Petra and Frederica end up taking Subaru's side, even with Shotty transforming into this beast. God dang! As soon as they make it back inside though, we see what is that?
No.
Is that a mob beast? They end up splitting up with Petra and Subaru trying to figure out what they're gonna do in this situation, but then out of nowhere another huge explosion happens, and I can't even tell you what the fuck just happened. Bro was inside, then he ended up outside, then he was launched back inside too. I know that hurt. And mind you, throughout this whole thing, he was holding Petra's arm, and the moment he opens his eyes slightly, half of her body is literally gone. Dang. With everyone else dead too. And eventually Elsa finds Subaru, and even though he knows he's about to die and this is all gonna happen again, he doesn't want her to hurt Rem at all. But then out of nowhere, dog, ain't no way. But hey, now I'm finna toss this shit to my boy Tops, so he got that shit.
Oh yeah, we back. We cut back to Subaru tweaking out and looking like it's super over. Jailbait gets to healing him, but he ends up passing out a few seconds later. This nigga life is actually terrible. Beatrice is over here listening to Subaru vent, and I ain't gonna lie, I don't think she give a fuck. He over here tweaking. It even got bad. He almost deleted his save file, but she stopped him. That's when Subaru drops to the ground and he sees what appears to be Beatrice holding a gospel. For those who forgot what a gospel is, I'm not talking about the music. It's a book that the archbishops be having to communicate and shit. Beatrice is defending her book like it's the last thing on earth. Subaru try to walk him down, but she clocks his ass. And to make it worse, that's when fine shit with the gigantic knockers walk through the front door ready to put pain in, taking Subaru off the map, sending him to his last safe checkpoint, which happens to be him and Emilia. But Emilia is over here fucking tweaking over these trials and tribulations. But you already know Subaru's right there on the cut trying to prove the point. He really a dumb man, bro. He really just gotta stop doubting himself. We cut to Otto outside listening to Subaru vent, and that's when Garfield pulled up, and this nigga already acting like Bakugo, bro. He told Subaru, hey bro, we can't discuss here, but let's go somewhere else real quick. Let this nigga to the woods like it was normal, and all you see is some little ass girl posted up with a staff. That's what we learn about Garfield, his sister's past. Apparently she left that nigga and said, fuck it, we ball, we doing this on our own. This nigga was really defensive about this shit, but it's low-key understandable because that's your sister for real. The conversation somehow translated over to Emilia and the trials, and Subaru was like, I ain't gonna lie bro, I'ma just do the trials for her. Garfield started tweeting like, nigga, who Who are you feeling like? Tell me why this buffoon ended up kidnapping Subaru and tied him up and started speaking nasty. Then had the audacity to help Emilia and Rim look for Subaru. Like, bitch, you have him captured. Niggas was on my ass cause I called Otto a bum, and I'ma stand with it. He's still a bum. He got pressed by Mr. I Hate Mondays and then sold his soul for some bread. We cut back to Subaru tied up, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have to take back everything I just said about Otto because he ends up saving Subaru. Finally get the co-sign from Subaru saying that he's his friend. Anyway, Otto got some help from Molly Santana, and now it's time to put the plan in motion. Subaru gets to talking to Freaky Joker. He like, hey my nigga, is Beatrice a part of the Witch's Code or nah? Because she got this fat ass book that look like a gospel, so let me know. He says, nah, it's just a regular ass book, leaving Subaru to go back to what he was doing and retreat. It's what I would like to say if Garfiel didn't pull up on them and want smoke. Told Subaru to bring that ass here, boy, but they decided they gonna run the plate instead. Had Otto moving like Marshawn Lynch. Ram literally upped the stick, but Garfiel did not give a fuck. The hands were E for everybody like Chris Brown. The whole entire community was helping Subaru out, but that's when this landslide came out of nowhere, sweeping the block, and you won't believe who it was.
Mondays, Subaru. I hate Mondays.
This nigga eye is twitching. What did Subaru do to deserve this? He was not moving like this in the cartoon. Who are you? Garfiel gets the up and paw, but Otto jumps in the way, taking the hit last minute. She's getting vicious, no 9. Subaru makes this ugly ass face looking like Yayo, and while Ice Spice Pussy is walking towards him, his Uber tosses his ass out of here, while his pennant simultaneously shine, taking him to the land of ice. Now I'm not gonna lie, y'all gonna have to peep game with this one. He's walking through the Arctic Tundra No Juice World, and he stops because he notices Bunny. You know when you see a very attractive light skin, but she got those type of eyes? Yeah, that was basically this Bunny. It looked like it was soft and cuddly at first, but that shit was really about to take you down. Subaru learned that shit the hard way. Went to pet it, now his hand gone, no more meet and beat. He ended up getting surrounded by a bunch of bunnies, and these niggas are on demon timing. They moving like me, they moving like my ex, they move like Yayo's barber, but he ends up returning by death. But this time this nigga is overly tweaking. This is not the same Subaru, so he ends up getting sent to paradise, is what I would like to say if I didn't see Enchilada. And this is off topic, but I'm going, I ain't gonna lie, I don't care if she a witch or not, she bad as hell. Anyway, he gets to asking Enchilada what the hell was that earlier, and she gets to saying that's one of the big 3 on some Mount Rushmore shit. The snake, the rabbit, and the whale. And we already seen the whale and the rabbits, but now we gotta see the rest. Lil Shawty appeared on the screen and we put him on a test. That wasn't even supposed to be a bar. She literally tested this nigga's life, ripped off his limbs, gave him that D-Rose treatment, and then she just disappeared like nothing. We then get to meet one of my favorite characters. Yeah, she basically a JoJo character. But look, that's enough for her. She ends up dipping. She also bad as shit. And we get to meet the ones we supposed to meet. The one who created the 3 demons. The big 3. Subaru was like, why would you create a monster like that? And she was like, you know my body. Subaru then got on his poetic shit and was like, word to bro, I will defeat the demons, cause I'm really like that, on blood. Then she disappeared, blinding the fuck out of everybody. And we get to see Enchilada again before Subaru comes back to his senses and see everything's black. That shit had me bamboozled as hell. But it turns out Subaru know who it is, whispering loud as hell. But that's when the D1 homie pulled up, grabbed Subaru and dropped him off. And that's when the homie realized, oh shit, this demon really gotta get packed up because it's the Witch of Envy. So now we about to see a 1v1 of a generation. Subaru is locked in. It's what I would like to say if Subaru wasn't on a 10-day max contract. She get to zoom in, but they're not that far from behind her. Subaru like, damn, I hope the others okay, but dude like, I ain't gonna lie, twin, they already sucked them up. I would have been dead, packed out on a white tee if it wasn't for the win. But that's when Subaru turn around and we see a bunch of little niggas. Now if she said you in what army, we actually have an army. But I spoke too soon. She ends up pulling up on them. Garfield tried to up the ante, but he wasn't upping the ante enough. She ended up catching them lacking, then boomed all the little homies one by one. I was astonished, but it was a diversion. Unfortunately, he got caught again and ripped apart. Long little Dushy, my brother, I miss him. Think about Dushy, I think about killing. I think about Dushy the billing. Anyway, she was like, I love you, but Subaru was like, bitch, I'd rather fuck the other witches, phony. This made her tweet, so she ended up killing this nigga, and now he lucid dreaming. But you know, this is ReZero, so he returned to once he was. But this time, he can't even touch Emilia. This nigga has PTSD ED. Somehow, Emilia just ends up touching him, and he stops tweaking, but this time he ends up crying like a bitch. But you know, they end up meeting up with the gang, and Subaru gets validation from Garfield. But before the night ends up ending, Subaru pulls out to the block where the crystals be laying at. walked through the trap, seen a lolly. If this video get taken down, I'm sorry, Nanton. And then got approached by 2 more lollies. They basically breaking down what's happening and shit. And I ain't gonna lie, I don't know what happened in this scene, but the next scene I do know. Subaru was like, hold on, does that mean Garfield took the witch trials and things of that nature? He ends up dipping and going back to his ways, but before he ends up getting back to the place, he sees Anyway, we cut back to the spot where we see Otto waiting on Subaru like the dub homie he is. But now it's morning. Subaru wrote a letter. He was like, I ain't gonna lie, shawty, I'm leaving. I gotta go handle some business. I'll see you when I come back. But on the way to handle business, he ended up getting stopped by Garfield. This nigga Garfield pressed him and told the ride if he interferes, he gonna get it too. But Subaru was feeling like a different demon today. Smiled in the face of danger and told that boy, what you trying to do about it, because I'm really about to spin the block on these ops. Nigga had the audacity to say that he don't know about pain, but Subaru was like, nigga, I do. Left that bum bitch bamboozled, and Subaru was feeling like that guy ever since. We end up getting this hard title card, and I ain't gonna lie, when I first got to this scene, I gotta say it. Garfield's sister bad as a bitch, bro. Subaru end up walking up to Beatrice, and that's where we get to the next saga. Yo, Beatrice, what's the move? I heard you still trying to pack me over a book, my nigga.
Subaru, it's not like that. This is just my prized possession, big dog.
Yo, respect the big S, but I'm not fucking with that book in your hand. Give me that shit, nigga. Man, ain't nothing in here.
Yeah, there's nothing in there because, well, I was tasked to just be here, my nigga.
Damn, twin. Like, I didn't know that. Like, are you depressed?
Yes, bruh. Like, no can, but it been so long. They told me to wait on a special person, but I can't no more. So I ain't gonna lie, bruh. If you love me, just go ahead and murk me, my brother.
No, I can't.
Bitch ass nigga, you made it. Yo, pussy ass #1.
Yo, I guess I'll #2.
Get it, chat? Cause she's like the bow assassin. Anyway, she told Subaru that everybody been sent to God same day, no Amazon. So they got the boxing. Beatrice farted, leaving Subaru to grab her and just dip off. But this time when he dipped off, he ended up running to the girl that he saved from last season. She starts to summon all type of animals and shit. I don't know who she feeling like. This then caused Subaru to drop to his knees like he Little Dirk or something. And that's when fine shit pulled up, but it didn't work. Did all these unnecessary flips for no reason. She's then ready her stance, but Beatrice pulled out a destructo disc, but it turned into some crystals afterwards. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know, but just know that she was weaving though, is what I would like to say if she didn't get hit. Beatrice did end up packing her and was about to do the same to the little girl, but Subaru was like, we're not monsters. But she felt a disturbance, pushed Subaru, and got packed up like nothing. It turns out she wasn't actually dead, which makes no sense because I literally seen a mole of her body, but it's whatever though. She got sent to God same day and decided, you know what, let me crack Subaru in his dome as well. She really ended up doing my man's the worst way, and it's crazy, bro. Beatrice sent him to his last save point, and when he went to go check on Emilia, she's over here tweaking and shit. She's talking about, I love you, Subaru, and I wouldn't let nobody close enough to hurt you. Bitch, you not ride wave. Subaru then walk out there and argue with Garfield, and he was like, nigga, she would never say she loved me. Garfield was over here getting tight and shit a minute before, but that's okay. They went to go speak to Wazwa, and this nigga just passed Ram and Garfield for no reason. Nigga talk about something I know I couldn't beat him. Then pulls out a journal. This nigga been on Subaru dick since day 1. It's then revealed that this nigga was moving like Eisen. He plotted all that shit so it could happen to Emilia, and then he just beat Subaru ass for no reason. Threw him out, and then this nigga gets surrounded by the bunnies again, and it only got wicked from there. He ends up meeting back with Emilia, and Emilia goes in for a kiss, and we get this hard ass title screen, and yeah, I think I did my part. But that's it for me, and I'ma pass the ball to my brother Key.
This that bonfire rude boy. Thank you for the rock toast. I have come to elevate this video, so let me lock in. So after Subaru sees a side of Emilia he's never seen before and he dies, he's back in the trial. He's recapping his day saying Roswaal knew I was looping somehow. I don't know who Roswaal is, but I gotta keep an eye out on this dude. But then after he says he wants to speak to Echidna again, he drops down in the trial room. He starts hearing behold an unthinkable present, and he's seeing all the outcomes of his life after he died, how it affected those around him. And I'm sitting here watching this, I'm like, yo, so are these timelines actually continuing without Subaru? Because I thought he was just resetting from where he started. I didn't know he was jumping to like some new timeline, like this is Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Low-key hot take, that movie was buns. I didn't really like it. The first one was so much better. But when he wakes back up, he sees Rem, and Rem's giving him a pep talk. And me personally, I'm Subaru using my brain, I'd be like, hold on, Rem's in a wheelchair right now. Not even a wheelchair, she's bedridden right now. She can't even speak, her eyes aren't open, she's in a coma. comatose state. But I guess since he was beholding plenty of unthinkable presence, he may not be in his right mind right now. But that's when she tells him to give up. And that's when he's like, hold on, wait, the girl I know and the girl that loves me would never tell me to give up. So who are you? Stop posing as me, you faker. Like this is Sonic Adventure 2. Was that Sonic Adventure 2? I don't remember. But then we find out it's the Witch of Lust, and he ends up going back to the tea party with Echidna. But Echidna tells Subaru that she wants to make a contract with him, and she's saying whenever you run into trouble, guess who will be there to save you like Superman? It'll be me, so you should just sign this contract and come on, put your signature in there. Don't even read anything too deeply. But that's when the Witch of Wrath pulls up and says, no, do not form that contract with her. She's putting you on a Shanghai Sharks deal. It is not worth it. And she's telling Subaru, sure, there may be benefits, but she hasn't even told you the downside of making this contract. And that's when all of the witches pull up thinking that there's some tea party going on. And Echidna's saying, if you make this contract with me, I'll let you do whatever you want to do to me. Now, Subaru in season 1, he might have changed up before meeting Emilia and he would have made this contract. But instead, he asked about Beatrice, saying she's looking for the one. Do you even know who that is? Echidna's like, nah, but I'd love to see who she choose. And Subaru says, no, I will not make a contract with you, but guess who I'm going to make one with? Beatrice. I'll be the one for her. Why not? And then Satella pulls up. But Satella's walking up to Subaru saying, I love you. I need you. And hey, if a girl's moving like this over me, I'm not pulling a Subaru. I'm not keeling over and crying. I'm running into her with open arms. But he's saying I can do this all on my own. I don't need anybody's help. And she's saying you need to stop doing this. You need to love yourself. You're pushing out this love to everybody else, but you don't even love yourself. He yells at her to stop, and he'd rather bite his tongue off than hear what she has to say. But after he dies, the witches bring him back to life. And it seems like all of the witches are trying to help him. Echidna's still trying to sign him to a 360, but he's like, nah, I'm good off that. But Echidna gives him the drop on Garfiel, saying he's scared of the outside world. You need to break that fear to break that spell and free the sanctuary. You got that right? W Echidna. And he tells Satella, you're telling me to love myself more. I guess I can try a little. And he reaches out his hand to help her up. W character development in these few minutes. And I'm looking at you when I say this, Kev. You said he was insufferable in season 1. Look at him now. He's moving different. But we see Subaru try to enter the trial again, and that's when he's rejected. That's how we know Emilia is gonna have to come in clutch now. She's their only hope. But he tells Otto and Patrice that he has to go talk to Roswaal, so he pulls up on Roswaal. And Roswaal's like, oh, you know the two people at the mansion, Elsa and what's the girl's name? Maylee? Yeah, I sent both of them there. That was my doing. So you gotta choose either to save the sanctuary or save the mansion. And you're kind of weak, so you know, you can't really do the other one. But you know, I believe in you. So while Subaru's running looking like that one green screen of the skeleton, he trips down and he starts saying, what should I do? What should I do? And that's when Otto pulls up and he says, you know what you should do? Eat this right hook. He says, stop trying to rely on yourself only and rely on us. We're here for a reason. And we see Otto telling Subaru, I'm your friend, so tell me everything that there is to tell me. And that's when they come up with their next plan. We see Subaru bust into the room where Roswaal is sitting. He's saying, yo, let's make a bet. I'm taking you to Las Vegas. We're gambling. If I can get Emilia through the trial, save the mansion, and do this all before the snow comes, and even if the snow comes, get rid of the bunnies, you have to join me, and Emilia will be the next ruler. Roswaal's like, I mean, I know you can't do it, and I don't really want to stop following the black book, but I mean, you're spitting good games, so I'm down for it. But they're already going against what the gospel predicted. But Ram is still saying, yeah, nah, wrap it up, little bro, this junk ain't gonna work. So Subaru goes to Ryuzu, and she explains to him that they're all clones. There's 4 main ones, and they alternate through this room, making sure that it's all in order, keeping the sanctuary's barrier up. But we find out that the Ryuzu that Garf is closest to is Shima, and he's petrified of the outside because of what happened to his mother and what his mother did, so that's why he doesn't want Subaru to free the sanctuary. But when Subaru talks to Emilia, he finds out that she can't go to sleep. She's anxious about the trial. So he tells her, let me know exactly what you saw in that trial. It can't be that bad. And she starts talking about how she saw her past. But he comforts her because she starts tweaking out a little bit. And he's like, well, she didn't really help me, so I need to ask somebody who can help me. He reaches for her neck to summon Puck. Puck freezes his hands. But then we see Puck talking to Emilia. He's like, I'm sorry, I can't be there for you anymore, but there's someone who's better than me, a better fit. She's like, there's nobody in this world who's a better fit. He's like, yes, there is. And if he isn't, too bad. You're gonna have to deal with him. And that's when Puck disappears. But we see Garf and Shima having a conversation, and Shima's like, oh, you know Young Soo? Yeah, he doesn't have any ties to the witch. Garf slams his drink down. He's like, yes, he does. Emilia's struggling to go to sleep, so Subaru's like, bet, don't worry, I'm gonna be here for you the whole night. Looks over, Subaru's gone. She's like, dang, Mother Fortuna was a liar. Huck was a liar. And now Subaru's a liar? So the next morning hits and everybody's searching for her. Garf is going left and right searching for Shima, but he can't find her either. And he ends up walking into Otto. And that's when we see Emilia in her spot, and and Subaru walks over and sits down by her. We see Otto with a crystal and he ends up trapping Garf down in a sinkhole or pitfall, whatever it's called. And then we go into Otto's backstory and he's basically saying, oh, ever since I was young, I had the divine protection of the soul of language, whatever it's called. I could hear the animals speak to me and I couldn't really focus on my parents. People bully me because I could speak to bugs. This dude thought I stole his girl, even though I was really trying to help him out, saying, yo, she's a bot. But it wasn't until I randomly got saved in a cave and cried that my life changed. And that's what my purpose is today. Otto throws 4th of July firecrackers at him and they may get Garf off of him for a second and let him gain some distance in the running, but then he starts hitting them with Tekken combo. And Garf flies in with a mean right hook to the face, sending him flying across the ground, then walks over, steps on his hand, crushing it, and picks him up. But Ron pulls up with the attacks, and even though Garf transforms into his tiger form, she's still piecing this man up. I didn't know Ron could move like this. But then she takes a lot of damage out of nowhere. Otto puts up the crystal and brings Garf's attention to him. But what are they gonna do now? They got a giant tiger fighting them. But when Subaru finally starts talking to Emilia, he's like, I'm relieved I found you here. And she's like, relieved? You're not mad at me? I mean, what I did was kind of selfish. And then she starts going off on him saying, you can't ever get mad at me. And he's like, all right, bet. You're a bum. You're a loser. You can't do anything right. Hey, pretty privilege don't work here. I'm gonna keep on cooking you. But then he says, you know, that's kind of why I love you. You may be a bum. You may be Megami mixed with Yuta, but I still rock with you for real. And then she says, I don't believe that. You've been lying to me in season 1 and you're still lying to me in season 2. Where's this character development that this guy Key keeps talking about? Yo, W third person plug. But then he tells her, I'm gonna show you right now how much I do. And he kisses her. W Subaru. I mean, he finally made a play. He was moving different. Amy next. Carry on. But that's when Emilia and Subaru walk outside and they see Garf. What were Rom and Otto doing to this man? Cause he's all bloodied up. So Garf says to Emilia and Subaru, I am not letting you guys pass. Like I'm the troll from Dora. You guys are not getting across this bridge. And Emilia's saying, I know why you're scared. It's because of the outside world. And Subaru's like, hold on, let me tap in. Frederica is outside the sanctuary, creating a world that people from the sanctuary can move into when they leave the sanctuary. But what are you doing? That's why your mom left you. He's like, hold on, whoa. My mom didn't leave me. My mom died. Yo, soft spot, dude. Don't even say all that. But then he says, I'm not letting you guys pass me. I will be a barrier that none of you guys can break down. And he transforms into his tiger form. Emilia steps in front of Subaru to protect him. And peep how Subaru's like, hold on, no, you ain't protecting me right now. It's all me. So he says, stop it with the short man syndrome. And he runs at Garfield. Garfield goes in for the punch, but he hits him with that shamak, however you pronounce it. But Satella came in clutch. And when Garfield hits down, Subaru's nowhere to be seen. Subaru hits him with a surprise, stabs him in the back with his own sister's jewel, so he gets taken out of his tiger form. And Subaru tells him, if you stay holed up here, you guys will be weak. And when you're attacked, you'll have no numbers to fight back. So you gotta learn what true strength is, bro. And he shows him true strength with a right hook to the face. And Subaru says the wall you're talking about doesn't even exist. Garfield says, yes, it does, because I am that wall. Nothing's getting past me. It's over. And that's when Subaru says, hold on, over? If MLK gave up, he wouldn't have had his dream. If I gave up, I wouldn't have this successful anime. And he takes a step forward and says, isn't that right, Emilia and Rim? Garfield goes in for another punch, and that's when he stops. Subaru uses his unseen hand to hit him with a mean uppercut, sending Garfield back. Garfield's still up. But when Garfield walks up to Subaru, Patrice comes in clutch and knocks him out of the way. And when he comes to, Rom is saying, yeah, you lost. But Garfield goes into the trial to confront his past, and we're seeing his mother getting ready to leave. But Frederica's like, yo, bro, you gotta get rid of this short man syndrome. Your height level may not change, but your maturity level still can. You gotta grow up. But Garfield apologizes. He says, alright, I'm gonna turn over a new leaf like Thorfinn from Vinland Saga, I guess. He starts calling Subaru boss, and he's like, oh yeah, I saw what you wrote in the trial, by the way. Subaru left her side because he wrote motivational messages, and that's when she confronts Echidna and hits the Subaru pole saying, I got this. But we see Emilia in the trial, and Echidna's saying, yo, you're a bum, you're not making it through this. But that's when she starts walking through her past. We see her mother figure, Fortuna, and she's saying, yo, you better stay in this room. Emilia sneaks out, and we see Fortuna talking to Goose, and we all know who Goose is. But we find out about a seal that needs to stay hidden, and when Emilia gets caught by Goose, he starts crying, saying he's finally been blessed. And that's when Fortuna walks up. She says you should never break a promise, no matter what. They're all chopping it up like it's a family barbecue, and Emilia says, you guys are kind of like a mother and a father, ain't that something? Regulus Cornelius pulls up. We see a little bit about the history of the sanctuary, about how Beatrice was there in the OG Ryuzushima. We also find out how the Mather family got their ties with the sanctuary. Emilia, Fortuna, and Goose are talking to Regulus, and he's saying, you guys are so rude. You guys are treating me like I'm nothing. Do you guys not know who I am? And that's when the Witch of Vanity, Pandora, pulls up. After Fortuna hears about Pandora, she pops her ult, starts throwing ice at her, and literally skewers her. Even Regulus gets caught in the attack. They're both alive. Take Emilia and dip, because it's about to get ugly. And he pulls out a black box with some weird aura around it, and he puts it to his chest. He pops his ult. He starts going insane. You see the unseen hand forming. His whole body is twitching. Pandora claps it up. She's like, oh yeah, you're the new slaw. And he starts throwing haymakers at Regulus. He slams him to the ground. He's trying to attack him left and right. He even breaks his neck. Regulus is eating these. Before Fortuna leaves to go back to help Youth, she gives Emilia a pep talk saying, you can do this. All you gotta do is replay this TED talk in your head over and over and you'll find the strength to continue going forward. And she says, do not let them find you, because low-key, if they find you and you know the seal gets broken, the world might actually end. And Fortuna tells him to take Emilia and go. So while he's running with Emilia, he gets slimed out by a mob beast. We see an injured Goose, but Fortuna is back to help and she sends Regulus back with an ice crystal. But he's like, yeah, I've had enough of this. I'm just gonna kill you both. Pandora's like, nah, you can't really do that for real. So he kills Pandora. Pandora comes back, speed blitzes and puts him in the ground, says, you know what, I don't even want you here anymore. Go back to your mansion. We see Emilia and she walks to the door, and waiting for her is Pandora. And Pandora's saying, yeah, open that door, let me in. But Emilia's saying, I can't do it because Fortuna told me no, she's standing on 10 toes. And that's when Fortuna pulls up, getting Pandora out of the way. Goose pulls up too, but Pandora played a trick on him. He's seeing Fortuna as Pandora, so he kills Pandora, but he really ends up killing Fortuna. And this is what drove Goose over the edge. And that's when Pandora says, you know, after all that, you're still trying to cash out me some money? Open this door, you know, get this all over with? And Emilia says, nah, I just like to see you die. And she keeps saying, die, die, die. She's killing Pandora over and over before she eventually starts freezing the entire area and starts freezing herself. Echidna's saying, yo, what if none of this was meant to happen? What if you're still meant to be a bum? Trying to hate to bring Emilia down, but Emilia's saying, whatever you say is not gonna hurt me. I passed this trial. But then Subaru and his crew return back to Roswaal and they're saying your gospel's already wrong. All because of Otto right here. But we see a sick Roswaal and he gets put on prank invasion, gets a smooch to his face just to heal him up. Echidna, I'm not feeling the best right now. Carry on. But they're having the time of their lives in the sanctuary until Beatrice says, mother's calling, and she's calling for you too, Roswaal. It's urgent. And Roswaal says he's arrived. Echidna's talking about the barrier, but she's saying we don't have the necessary core yet. And that's when Ryuzu says, oh, I got you. And they're like, you're not ready to be the core. We need to wait some time. But that's when the devil of melancholy pulls up and Roswaal tries to fight him. He's actually cooking this man. He's genuinely cooking this dude. Like genuinely, bro. This fight was so niche. But Echidna pulls up to save Roswaal's life. And Beatrice takes Ryuzu to the core room. Ryuzu's like, I've had a great time with you guys, but you know, this is the end. And she touches the crystal and then she enters the core. But even with Emilia's progress in the trial, Roswaal's still saying, oh, she don't got that. She's a bum for real. And Subaru grabs him by the shirt. He's like, I will punch you, but I know you're probably gonna cook me with magic, so I'm not even finna try. Emilia got this. I believe in her. And that's when he kills all his chi by hitting his pose. Subaru's last encounter with Roswaal was to try to get the mansion attack off, but after grabbing his shirt and saying all that, if I'm Roswaal, I'm not even sending it off. Subaru's saying, shoot, he might send in reinforcements after that. We gotta go now. So they pack up to leave. And they're like, wait, Garf, you can leave? And he's saying, yeah, I could have left this whole time. But after Emilia walks out of the trial and Ram is waiting for her, Roswaal walks up on them. He's saying, Subaru kind of gaslighted you. You know what I mean? I mean, everything you're saying right now is something Subaru would say. And Emilia's like, nah, Subaru told me I was a bum. I was a loser. And even Roswaal's like, Subaru said all that to you? And Emilia's like, yeah, that's why Subaru's the GOAT. And she's like, now turn your back around, go back to your house and lay in that bed because I'm about to go clean the trial right now. I meant to say clear. But we see Roswaal in the room with the original Ryuzu Shima, and that's when Ram pulls up to him. He's like, yo, you're defying my orders. She points a wand to him, says, yeah, I'm defying your orders. I'm about to take you away from the witch's grasp right now. Because I'm pretty sure I forgot to mention that after that kiss with Echidna, he kind of became obsessed. Roswaal stunts his magic. He's like, what are you doing against me? Ram pulls out Puck. But then we see the mansion. We see Petra walking, and that's when Elsa appears. She tries to attack, but Frederica catches the blade. Petra runs and leaves the scene, and that's when she runs into Subaru, and Subaru says it'll all be okay. Frederica's looking pieced up from Elsa, but Garf pulls up and blocks the attack. He turns around and look at his sister. He's like, dang, are you my sister or my big brother? Kick to the gut. But he says, with these shields on, I can protect anyone. I'm the strongest person in this building. And finally, we see Subaru walk into the library where Beatrice is sitting, and he's like, it's time to get out of here. But that's all there is for me, so I'm gonna pass it back to Nanton so he can bring us home.
Boy, you better give me my shit back. Who you think this is, bro? This is Big N. Come on now. Alright, listen. Now we finally get to see Garfiel versus Elsa. But obviously, you know that boy going crazy and is about to put belt to ass on Elsa. Finally, Subaru makes a vow that he will bring Beatrice out of that library no matter what, but it still isn't easy. She realizes that in Roswaal's Tome of Wisdom, it states that Beatrice will eventually have to die by Elsa. Hence the reason why she sent Elsa to the mansion to kill everyone and told her about the secret library that's hidden in the mansion in order to find Beatrice. But of course, she accepts the fact that she has to die. But Subaru was not having that shit slide. These two are really about to let a book dictate whether or not they live their life. Even even though Beatrice's book
has nothing in there for her.
She goes on to complain about the fact that she has been alone forever and that she is still waiting for her one companion. If you remember, Echidna has played her like a straight dummy, and despite that, Subaru is trying to explain to her that she got played, but she's still not listening. She then goes on to tell if Subaru could be that one person that Echidna said is waiting for her, but obviously bro said no. Damn! And as soon as Otto, Petra, and Subaru end up linking up again, the mansion continues to completely break down. Just before they were about to fall through the ground, Federica ends up saving all of them. And oh shit, she's still alive too? This girl is completely tapped out her mind, bro. She's talking about she wants to kill everyone. Damn! What did I do? Federica ends up taking care of the little ass girl while Subaru's group goes back into the mansion just to face this demon dog again. We cut back to Emilia, who's still trying to complete her trials, as we see Betelgeuse and Fortuna, and it seems like they're about to go on a picnic, eating snacks and shit, granola, you know what it is, chilling out, enjoying the breeze, but obviously this is all a part of the test. Emilia finally locks in and knows exactly what everything means now. Just before she completed the test too, she was even able to make Echidna cry. Damn, those words really did some impact. And now she finished the second trial and is preparing to go for her last. We go back to Elsa and Garfield, and yeah, this bitch is completely
tapped out her fucking mind, bro.
But of course, Garfield is not phased, and he had no bitch. He's going straight to her. You already know how it is for Garfield, bro. You could be the fattest girl known to man. His hands are still rated E for everyone, bro. Subaru finally thinks of a way to defeat the mob beast, in which he brings it into this random ass room. Oh shit, he ain't scared too? They ended up coating this whole ugly ass beast with oil and lit his ass on fire, and eventually tossing him outside too to die. Victory! Oh, never mind, this is not over. Subaru still has some unfinished business, so he tells Otto and Petra to take Rem outside and to wait until this shit is over. Emilia finally gets invited to the tea party just for Minerva to be there, and apparently Echidna tapped out because Emilia made her so sad that she doesn't want to be seen again. Like damn. Minerva clearly has a soft spot for Emilia and eventually allows her to pass the test with ease. And then we finally get to see Echidna's body inside the tomb, and we see the spell generating the barrier, in which Emilia finally ends it, but this shit still isn't done yet. Garfield and Frederica finally start their 2v2 with Elsa and Maylee, but you already know this boy is wasting no time. They end up boxing again, and she was able to stab bro just for Garfield to get a good hit off of her, and it seems like she's knocked out now. And then he finally decides to take care of Maylee's mob beast, twisting its head off 360 while transforming? Damn, that's how you fight! But Elsa's regeneration is too strong, and it's kind of clear up to this point that Garfield knows what she is, and she's a vampire. Then she goes on to talk about her backstory and shit, and I'm not gonna lie, I really don't care up to this point, bro. She's already killed too much people to be giving me a backstory. And shit, Garfield doesn't give a fuck too. Wait, are they? Why are they eating each other now? No, what is going on? Is she cooked? Damn! This bitch got squashed like a pound of meat. God! We see Rom and Puck trying to hold off Roswaal, while Puck's now just finding out about Roswell's too attention on what he was gonna do with Emilia and Subaru. And shit, Puck was not playing games with this guy. Of course, Roswell's serious too, but then out of nowhere, Rom says she loves Roswaal. Bro's getting so pissed off, I don't even blame him. Dog pretty much is the only reason why her life is kinda in the gutter right now. He's the reason why the village got attacked. He's the reason why she's working here right now and getting pretty much treated like a dog. And for some reason, she's confessing her love? Shit, don't look at me. I'm questioning this behavior too, gang. Roswaal continues on attacking, but then Puck was able to trick him with illusion magic, in which all of his focus was towards Puck, just for Rum to sneak in and snatch a book, tossing that shit straight to the fire. Thank God! Oh wait, are they good? Roswaal finally realizes his stupid ass mistake now that the book is gone. Bro just started questioning everything about his life. Regardless of that though, shit was still not looking good in the sanctuary due to the Great Bunny shit. But eventually, Emilia and the others end up meeting up with Roswaal. It's really insane that this book really had Beatrice and Roswaal on a chokehold. But now that Roswaal's book is gone, Beatrice's book needs to be gone too and taken care of. But still, she is not making it easy for Subaru, and she is being so persistent and acting as as if the book is the answer for everything she has in her life, but her book is fucking empty. The library continues to get destroyed, and then Subaru ends up getting teleported straight outside, but still, he wasn't gonna give up. He goes right back in to save Beatrice, and finally, Beatrice puts her faith on Subaru, and they make a contract. Finally! Damn, bro, she was making that shit too difficult. They make it to the sanctuary, and yeah, shit is not looking good, but regardless, Beatrice is here, and now she has Subaru, so it looks like some shit is about to be done. And yeah, they're ready to box. As you hear all these bunnies clicking their teeth too, bro, they're ready too. Beatrice ends up releasing her crystal skill, which completely wipes out the bunny, and then she and Subaru both use the same spell, summoning even more crystals as they continue to wipe each one of the bunnies. Their plan is actually to gather all the bunnies in one place so they can completely wipe them. Subaru of course uses himself as a decoy while Emilia starts getting ready for her own attack as well, and then he finally completely surrounds all the bunnies, and then Emilia traces the line to make sure none of them escape, even lifting the shit from the ground. Damn, she's that strong? Beatrice ends up teleporting all of them somewhere else just for all the bunnies to start eating each other, and finally the battle is over. Funny thing about all of this, Roswaal and Beatrice end up talking a little bit right next to Echidna's tomb, in which Roswaal actually exposes the fact that he is the original Roswaal from 400 years ago. Damn, he got slapped too. He deserves it. Subaru and Emilia end up having a little heartwarming moment once again, as she asks Subaru if he really meant what he said when he said he loved her, and then she yells out,
"The baby that's in my belly!"
Excuse me?
apparently she thinks that when two people kiss, a baby is formed, so now she thinks she's pregnant. Bro, someone get pumped. Eventually, everyone has the chance to beat the brakes off Roswaal, and shit, let me hit him too, cause that guy has been nothing but a nuisance since the beginning of the series. Roswaal is finally under an oath, which is sealed with a curse, in which now he can never bring harm to anyone in his party, and if he does, dies. Later that night, they end up having a little party to confirm Subaru's knighthood for Emilia's campaign, and you just know it always warms my heart seeing Subaru actually win something in life after all the bullshit this guy has to go through in a day-to-day basis. Once again, they have a nice conversation, and closing the anime with Subaru having a dance with Emilia and everyone having fun as well. This is peak! Peak, I say. It's non-negotiable. It's non-negotiable. Hey man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video though. If you guys did, make sure to hype up the video, leave a like, and subscribe if new. Make sure to check out my boy Tops and Key too. But hey, maybe a part 3 is coming pretty soon. Shit, you didn't hear it from me. But yeah, Lego.
Bye, have a beautiful time.